This week's episode is sponsored by Dollhouse of Tampa Salon and Studio, where the inner doll is created. Styling services they offer are sew-ins, quick weaves, relaxers, facial waxing, eyelash extensions, and much, much more. It's time for you to find your inner doll. Contact Selena today, serving the Tampa Bay and surrounding areas of Florida. And make sure you follow them on Instagram and Facebook. Hello everyone, Vanessa Klinger here. Join us live Fridays, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the KP Media TV network for the Right Along with Vanessa morning show, where we provide you 100% free coaching at your service, raw, real enlightenment at its best. So join us Fridays, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time as we take you higher into the dimensions of God. Join us, won't you? Stay in love. Hello everyone, Vanessa Klinger here. We currently have advertising and sponsorship packages available for the Right Along with Vanessa and Spiritually Speaking and Awakening talk shows. Are you in the beauty, healthcare, auto, hotel industry? Are you a podcaster, light worker, spiritual teacher, and guide? We have interview spots available. KP Media Network provides global access and simultaneous streaming with a global reach of over 160 million. Go to www.vanessaklinger.com/show sponsor. Schedule a free consult now. Stay in love.
This is thy kingdom come. Let the Spirit of the Holy One pass over. Let your peace cover the earth. Lord, let your will be done. This is the time to take a stand, to let the world know that you can face tomorrow, but today is the day that you say, I will reign, I will reign, I will reign.
Hello, everyone. How are you? Welcome to Spiritually Speaking and Awakening. I'm Vanessa Klinger, your intuitive life strategist and life coach motivator.
And I'm Michelle, the motivator and your spiritual evolutionist. Namaste. I bow to the divine presence in you.
Namaste, co-host.
Happy birthday.
I know. I'm just a wee bit excited. I'm not excited about, my quote unquote age. I'm excited though, because I can't drive 55. I just can't do it. But I'm very excited. Thank you.
Welcome.
Yes, we have. Oh, so glad to be back. We had a long hiatus. Things happened, but it's all about the right time. And so I'm excited to hear, how was your summer? How was your spring?
It was interesting. It was enlightening. It was all of that. Yeah. I mean, it was a growing process. So I think I raptured up to another dimension. So it was good.
Oh, so you're making progress.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, that's great. I know that I have too. I believe so. I was introduced to even more teachers, and I have so many people that I sleep with at night. My bed's about to get crowded, my spiritual bed, because I got Stuart Wilde in there, I got Dolores Cannon, I got Dr. Bruce Lipton, I got Deepak Chopra, I got Reverend, everybody up in there, right? So whatever I feel inspired to listen to as I go to sleep at night to get fed, it's just the best thing that I really started doing, and I feel so grateful, so glad to be back to another season.
Yeah, another season, another reason.
Yes, another season and another reason.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest tonight. He said yes to the request to kick off the season, and I feel very humbled and honored to have him kick off the season. And it was very intentional.
Yes.
Because I wanted to set the tone for where Stay in Love Motivations is going, where Spiritually Speaking and Awakening is going. We're going up higher. into the, I mean, really, just like the right along quote, we're going up higher into the dimensions of God. And in order to do that, you have to keep evolving and going higher. And I was compelled by Spirit, change the name. Instead of spiritually speaking, it's spiritually speaking and awakening, because that is the call that I received to come when I come back. We're on assignment. We need to start bringing information that's going to assist in awakening those who are still asleep, and some who are even unconscious.
Yeah, it's vital in the time that we're evolving through. So it's vital that we are awakened, aware, and enlightened on our destination, our purpose, and what we're doing, because we've been bamboozled mentally and spiritually. I keep saying we were not put here to learn, we were here to remember. And so what they've learned us is pulled us away from our spiritual being. So it's time to wake up. We slept long enough. It's time to go.
And it's very exciting time. And I feel very honored that you partnered with me in doing the show. And we got a little time in that. Okay, we got some time. But ladies and gentlemen, okay, so the way Michelle and I connected, I was watching her do on Facebook. She was doing a Facebook Live and she was conducting a meditation session. And I just felt drawn to what she was saying and everything. And I just reached out. She's a little different, but I was like, wow, I dig her. And I said, I dig her. I said, she's cool, right? The vibe is right, and I was like, okay. So I meditate, right? And, we're looking, if we keep this journey, if we keep going forward, we will attract and be presented with our soul group.
Right.
We will. People that we relate to spiritually. And it's been up and going ever since. So I'm grateful for you, my friend, and my sister, to go along on this journey, however long it is, And
we've never met personally, in person. We've never seen each other in person.
Wow. We met during the pandemic. Wow. We didn't have no pandemic baby, but we did have a baby. We gave birth to spiritually speaking.
Yeah.
We did during the pandemic. Right. Okay. So Ron E. Jefferson, our gospel correspondent, he has a show that wraps up right up at the time when we go live. So he'll be joining us shortly, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll be bringing him on. We're going to run a couple of ads, and you'll see his intro. And then about 3 more minutes, we'll have Calvin, aka Black Abyss, joining us.
Yes, I'm excited. I am like a sponge. I am ready to soak in. Yeah.
Honey, when he starts speaking,
he already had some stuff already.
I'm serious. I said, when I tell you guys, when Michelle speaks, you want to put on your scuba gear. When you guys hear Calvin speaks, you're going to want to latch on your astronaut suit, because you're getting ready to go up into outer space, literally. But it's deep. It's going to feed your soul. And I'm very excited. Let me stop talking so we can have more time for Calvin. So, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. Hello. Vanessa Klinger here. I'm offering a special coaching session just for you. For those of you who feel as if there's no love in your life, I can help you find it by providing tools and techniques that will bring you immediate results. Go to www.vanessaklinger.com, schedule a session, and I'll take care of you. Stay in love. This week's episode is sponsored by Organic Sunscreen Moisturizer, Sheer Perfection Moisturizer that can only be found on perfectiondayspa.com. Contact Delia today. Black Abyss is a spiritual leader who's dedicated to assisting humanity on their journey from accountability to tranquility. His podcast, Black Abyss, dives deep into the listener's pain which allows them to face themselves. His divine spoken words help to resonate with the listeners, for they become seeds to feed their consciousness, which they are able to apply and activate their awareness to evolve to a higher state. Ladies and gentlemen, Calvin S., aka Black Abyss.
Yay.
Hey, how you doing, family? How you doing?
We're doing great. Can you just speak up just a little louder so I can make sure my
Can you
good
hear
ear
me?
can hear you? Yes,
Can
yes,
you hear me?
yes,
Can you
yes.
hear me? Okay,
Awesome.
okay, good,
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen,
good,
Calvin,
good.
aka Black Abyss. Okay, so I feel very honored that I was energetically at a level, because we attract who we are, or when the student is ready, the teacher will appear, right? So when I got turned on to you, it was during a clubhouse, and you came in a room, or I was in a room, or you were something. It was just the way it was supposed to happen. But that's how the first time I heard you, and I heard you speaking, and I was like, oh my goodness. I immediately went out to his Instagram, Black_Abyss, and looked at the pictures, the artwork. But what really moved me was the words. And that's why I'm so happy that you'll be able to share with us on what we're talking tonight. I'm so excited. I didn't even put the topic, what we're sharing tonight, Michelle. But we'll get to that. I mean, that's what it is.
Right.
But our topic tonight is a shift in consciousness. Because you guys have to promote everybody. But it's a shift in consciousness. And that's why I feel so honored to have you on, because when I heard you speak, I knew that you would have valuable information for the viewers, for people who are going to be watching this, for people who are going to be catching the replay, the people who are seeking. They want, I really believe they want to understand more, but they really don't know how to, how they're going to find it. But I know when you start to share with us your ideas, once we get to it, a shift in consciousness, it's going to resonate with their spirit, and then they will know, hey, I'm not crazy. Hey, that voice that's been talking to me, that's
Absolutely.
So I want to ask you, because we're talking about a shift in consciousness tonight, what was it that caused, your shift to occur? What was that the tipping point time in your life where you decided that you were going to, allow your consciousness to expand?
That's a great question. When I first came upon the information, it was about 2001. And I already had the energy of resistance. And most of us are always in this. Some of us, well, put it like this. One of us is born in every family. We are the initiated. They call us the black sheep. So we have a sense of resistance towards social norms. We have a sense of resistance, right, towards the assembly way of living. And we are the ones that's always asking questions. We are the ones that's always shifting into our soul intention. So maybe our mother wants us to be a doctor, but we want to be a dancer. We are constantly searching for who we are against social norms. And this is what happens. So we already have the question mark within our soul. Sometimes a soul mate comes along to initiate that. So everyone in your life is your soul mate. Your mother, your father, your brother, everybody. They are coming to imprint love or imprint pain. But it's all necessary for the self-reflection, because all energy is energy. Nothing is negative, nothing is positive. You're experiencing a different vibration or a different degree of the same energy. So love can turn to hate, hate can turn to love. If you walk to your kitchen sink, the water is neutral. The water is flowing freely. You choose to turn the water hot, or you choose to turn the water cold. So now the water changes a degree. It chooses a vibration to move up or move down. So when I ran into a lady, being I already had the energetic signature in me, I ran into a lady who lived right above me. And I was walking in the hallway one day and we're having a conversation. And the things that she was saying to me was bizarre, but it was not bizarre. I was intrigued by it and I wanted to know more. So talk about alignment. So I would come down to her apartment every day. When I first walked into her apartment, she had books piled up on the floor, on the walls, on her couch. It was just books everywhere, all over the place. And we would sit down, we would talk for hours and watch documentaries, and she would print information. And I kind of just ate it all up. I kind of just ran through it. The amount of information she will print at her place and just hand it to me every day. And at that time, there was nobody to talk to. I just had a lot of information stored, you know. There was no one to relay the information to or actually go back and forth with, except really me and her. And that's really how it started. So we were in the same place, same time. We met in the hallway at the same time, initiated a conversation that actually, you know, send the spark for me to walk into the journey.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm jumping up and down in my spirit because I honestly believe that our hearts is how we really communicate to spirit, your heart. And I really believe that when we send out, there he is, guys, Ronnie Jefferson, he's in the house. Hello, sir.
How you doing, Ronnie? How you doing?
We can't hear
Um,
Can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You're good.
Blessings.
Okay.
Greetings.
Okay.
Yes.
Greetings, everyone. Greetings.
Yeah, so I really believe that our hearts is actually the spiritual telephone and how we communicate. And when we send out a feeling, we're actually sending out whatever that is. And I really believe that, me personally, that's how it happened to me. When my heart was just sending out, because I was so tired of running into walls and I couldn't figure out my life. I couldn't figure out me, you know, and my heart was crying out. And I really believe that that's, you know, your heart, because you didn't know, but you were seeking. And that divine connection occurred because the universe, when you really, really want something, the alchemist, when you really, really want something, the universe conspires to make that happen. We're all talking about God here. We're talking about our creator.
Of course.
Works to conspire for our betterment.
It is of course.
Go ahead.
It is the consciousness of the heart is the only consciousness center that is disagreeable. It will not resonate with the rest of the world. We say everything from the heart. If I say, you know, did you do this thing for your grandmother? You say, yes, I did it from the heart. And I say, did you give that man a dollar today? You say, yes, I did it from the heart. And I say, I'm going to give a speech today. You say, Calvin, well, speak from the heart. And I say, what happened to your boyfriend? You say, he broke my heart. Then I say, Stanley, do you know this song? You say, of course I know this song. I know this song by heart. So it's all coming from the heart.
Yeah.
So what it is about this consciousness center about the heart, right? 40,000 neurons, people are constantly influencing our hearts. The heart is the only consciousness center that is disagreeable. It does not matter if you tell me you are happy in your marriage. The heart will say, no, I am not. I am depressed. The heart will say, I hate this job. The heart will say, I hate living here. The heart is in opposition to you because it can only live in truth. This is why when we do things, we feel guilty, because the heart lives in absolute truth. And this is why it is getting and trying its hardest for us to face that consciousness center. This is why we will never be happy until we stop lying to ourselves, because the heart will not allow us to manipulate it. It will only stay in absolute truth in order to bring us to a pure state of equilibrium.
And that's like, I'm residing with what you're saying, because I always say it's the heart mind over the head mind, because the heart mind is where God speaks and it's full of faith, but the head mind is full of fear and it's conditioned. So I agree with what you're saying when you're talking about, but the way you put it just gives me a greater clarity on what I was actually feeling and saying. Yeah.
So what we have to do is now bring the intellect to the heart and start thinking
Yes.
with our hearts.
Yes.
You know, we actually know and feel everything that we are supposed to do. I normally tell people your first thought is God's thought. Intuition is the state of knowing. It is when you are in a pure state of knowing, but you are trying to use your intellect to reason with situation. Most people suffer from what they call FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. You have gained the understanding that you need to walk out of this club. You know you need to leave. However, you have a fear of missing out. There is people energy are constantly influencing you in order through communication in order for you to shift and change the situation you are in at the particular moment. So bad things tend to happen to us when we do not communicate with the energies that are passing through us. If we are in a place where we are experiencing fear, right? At that particular moment, people are influencing our magnetic field. The heart has 40,000 neurons communicating back and forth. It is a real brain. So it's telling you that the people around you are vibrating at such a low frequency that you need to remove yourself from this environment. You try to intellectualize your situation and then something goes wrong. But we always know. We go against our knowing all the time. It's the same as if you're home and you don't feel fear. The reason why you don't feel fear because the people around you who energy has influenced you is full of a higher and a more loving vibration. So we can see energy change as we change environments. It is constantly communicating with us.
Okay.
And, I mean, I'm just swimming. I'm just swimming. Because this is awesome. I'm just swimming. I'm just tingling, yay! Because you're dropping some true wisdom and knowledge. Because the thing is that we have to really get in tune with who we are. Because this is just a suit. This is a bodysuit. We are spirit. We are a spiritual being, human. We are spirit being human. And we're having this experience. And so many of us have been just so conditioned and afraid. You brought that word fear, afraid of really just taking that deep dive into discovery, self-discovery, and understanding who I am, what I am, how I operate. And it's just such a, I'm kind of all over the place because I'm just really just compelled to share this. But how long are we going to allow ourselves to be confined by what we have been conditioned and taught because of grandmama did it, mama did it, I'm doing it, and which is where I'm going is that it requires courage. And you took a step that day. Why did you decide to, spark up that conversation? I mean, what was it? I mean, you said that you had been just really struggling at some point, but what was that? I mean, share with us.
What happens is there is an uneasiness that is gnawing at your mind. There is something you know that is not right with the common understanding of what everybody, the collective, is going towards. You have questions, right? So most of the time, as we walk through this journey, those questions will be revealed if we truly pay attention. And this is why we go through the karmic state. The karma that we go through is the repetitive, painful lesson. The karma is not for other people, it is for us. So everything moves in cycles in this life. It is constantly moving in cycles. Energy has no death, it has no birth. 0 to 60 seconds is beginning to end and ending to begin. The night and day is beginning to end and ending to begin. You're dating the same people over and over again in cycles. You were 23 last year, you will be 24 next year. Why is everything moving in cycles? Over and over and over again. To try to understand what is happening. Why is life keep treating me this way and it's never ending? Is the world attacking me or am I co-creating with this world? So those are questions that I had sitting and gnawing at my mind. So I had to understand that the karma was for me. I had to understand, right, that everything that was happening to me was because of how I see in the world, not through my eyes, but through my mind. Nothing can rise higher than the source. So if my mind is destructive, my life cannot be peaceful. The world is only responding to who I am. Okay. So time moves in cycles in order for us to understand and recorrect the future. The future does not exist. The future is a blank page. The future is being written in this moment. This is why you don't think about yesterday. This is why you don't think about tomorrow. Why? Because this is the only moment you can control. You cannot control any other moment but this moment. So you write the future in this moment and you will change what happens tomorrow.
Okay,
so our
Calvin.
life goes in cycles.
Okay, sir. Okay, because I got to strap on my astronaut suit because I'm about to be disconnected from the tethered here because you're okay. I wanted to speak to the karma thing because that we reference biblical scriptures here. The Bible scripture says in John, I think it's 1 John, it says, "Beloved, I wish above all that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers." Our Creator wants us to prosper as our soul prospers. And growing up in the church, I was educated and learned that your soul is your mind, your will, and your emotions. Now, your mind, your will, and your emotions comprises and is a part of your subconscious, right? So, I mean, that's my understanding. So what you're telling me is, you're telling me that karma is actually for me because it's trying to shake me and make me aware of what I'm doing to myself because of what I am sending out with my mind, my will, and my emotions. Because my emotions is, this is how it was explained to me. And you guys chime in. My emotions is like this energetic,
it is telling you you are the creator. It is trying to
yes.
tell you you are the creator, that you are walking divine law, and you everything that is happening, I am bending to your will.
Because we come from Creator. We come from Him. We are a part of Him. It says we are a percentage of God. God is a spirit, so we are a percentage of Him. It's like being in the ocean. I'm a drop, you're a drop, Michelle's a drop, Ron's a drop. We all come from the same stuff because we come from Source, God, our Creator. So what karma taught me was, when you were talking about that, I was like, why does this keep happening to me? Why is it in my life can't work out? Why is it? And Spirit had to bring in these teachers to help me to expand my consciousness to shift because I was so conditioned in thinking that I was doing something wrong, that I was being punished, that the devil was out to get me, and all. That was where I was brought up. But when I was made aware, and I took my power back, and I said, you know what, God, I know that you are in me, and because I come from you, and I know that I have all the power that I need in order to make my soul prosper. Now bring to me the resources, bring to me the people, the places, the things that I need in order to feed my soul so that I can expand my consciousness, enlarge my territory to accommodate more of you. So I appreciate you sharing that with that, Michelle. Michelle, girl, what do you have to share about his thoughts here? Girl, I'm trying to keep myself.
I'm kind of speechless tonight because I'm kind of soaking up some things. There are a lot of things that are being confirmed, reaffirmed to me, and aligning me with the direction that I'm going. Because this week, my conversation with God was, he was like, you need to forgive yourself. So when he's talking about starting the karma, it wasn't other people so much, not saying that you don't need to forgive other people, but it was more of me taking responsibility for my inner being instead of saying, well, she did that and he did that. But when you take that back, you begin to sow into yourself and then you begin to reap some of the things. So this week to me, it was, Michelle, forgive yourself for ... And that seemed to have lifted a whole lot of things that I was attracting because I hadn't forgiven myself. And so some of the things that you're saying is just resonating with what happened to me this week.
Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
Surrendering is not letting go. Surrendering is actually accepting what has happened to you rather than trying to let it go. You want to merge with the pain.
Yeah.
You want to merge with it. Love has its own scales, and we are learning how to collect seeds of consciousness along the way. We are learning how to experience our own selves. But love has its own scales, and most of us fall into romanticism, which is a flawed idea in this energy field. It says that if I be good to people, people will be good to me. If I give love, people will give love back. There are people who are black holes. They eat our light. They do not return our light. So love teaches us consequences. It says that whatever you give out of this energy, I must get it back, or it will leave you in a state of longing, a state of bitterness, and a state of resentment. So when you understand that love has consequences, you now learn to create boundaries. Why? Because unconditional love is not for other people. It is for you. Conditions are for other people. Unconditional love is for you. So you start to remove yourself from romanticism by understanding love and empathy. See, there are two things with understanding this love energy. People don't love us. They love the way we love them. And people love us because they love the way.
Wait, say that again, sir, so they can hear you in the back. Say that.
People don't love us. They love the way we love them. And people love us because they love the way we love ourselves. So there are two things happening. So an abusive man cannot be in a relationship with you unless he loves you the way you love yourself. The world must respond to you, right?
Because we're electromagnetic, right?
Yes, the world is responding to you. That's what
we are
doing. It's not happening without you. It's really responding. So you cannot convince me that an abusive man can come into your life. He can't come in there unless he loves you the way you love yourself.
Yeah.
Or else he cannot enter that frequency. He can't get in. You understand?
Yes.
My question is, if a man is an abuser, how much capacity does he have to love? I heard you say, good brother, and welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you.
Welcome. I appreciate your knowledge and wisdom that you're sharing. But an abusive man has a very diminished capacity to love. I can't see an abuser that puts his hand physically on another person, a woman in particular, and then have a certain capacity of love to even appreciate the love that she has for herself. So I hear what you're saying, but my concern is that we need to be able to identify what love is and what love does. And what love does not do is abuse somebody that they claim to love them.
Now that's tricky. Now, there are people who, that's a great question. There are people who can mimic love. Narcissistic
That's what
people
I'm
have the
saying. Thank you.
ability to mimic love. Yes.
Which is not
They
love.
can mimic it, which is
But
not love, but they can
thank
mimic
you.
it.
Thank you.
Right?
Yes, sir.
So narcissistic people are pathological charmers.
Yes, sir.
They're very good at manipulating and mimicking the love energy.
Yes, sir.
Love is not something that we do. It is what we are. So we have to understand the boundaries. So most of us, right, have a sickness. This sickness is codependency. We have a sick need to want to fix people, repair people. We have the sick need to give out all our empathy to people. That is the scales of love, some people. So the karma is for you to understand that love has consequences and that you are supposed to create boundaries.
And let me just interject that the Galatians 6:7, you reap what you sow. So what he's saying is whatever you put out, that's what you're going to attract in your life. So you may be saying or singing that Kendrick Lamar song, I love myself, Donna, but deep down, your subconscious, your soul is saying to you, your heart is saying, you know, you're lying, right? You don't love yourself. You know, it has this script running, which is why you attract those narcissistic individuals, those love mimickers in your life, because what God is trying to show us is that the people that come into our lives, we really need to ask, who are they? You know, we need to have like a checkpoint. Who are they and why are you here? Subconsciously, we need to be asking that. And because we need to always be checking ourselves before we wreck ourselves by allowing those individuals to come into our life. Now, we can use the people when they show up and say, why is this person so attracted to me? It doesn't have to be anything where relationship wise, just why are you always why are you here? Why do you always like me? To ask, because I tend to do that because I want to make sure, why are you here? Because I need to really check what kind of energy am I sending out to draw and attract this type of individual in my life. Am I, and you find out the person is this or that or whatnot. I'm like, am I like that? I'm always asking spirit, wait a minute, do I have a line? I'm always doing that. And that's what he was alluding to, guys, because he's saying, look, love can imitate and mimic. The narcissist will mimic that and imitate that. But deep down, we are responsible for the karma that we are experiencing in our life because of what we are sending out energetically, what our spirit is saying, what our soul, what our heart is communicating. Deep down.
And so what I always say is that we've been learned that way. And what we must go back is to the memory of what we were before we were in flesh. So that's why when people say, well, I'm learning this, to me, now this is me, I'm not learning anything anymore. I am remembering who I am prior to what they learned me to be. So people sometimes don't know the real love. They know that learned love that the outside interference has learned them and tried to make them forget that they forgot who they were. And so we're at a point now when you awaken, you're remembering what God has equipped you with before you got in the matrix, before you got in the womb. And once we get here, it is their job, and what we call the enemy is their job to learn us something to distract us from who we really are.
Yes, take your cosmic currency away from you. The relationship, nature is our blueprint. The relationship we have with nature is what love is. It is the relationship, cohesion, interdependency. You see, when I walk outside, I have a relationship with nature. There's a tree outside that will feed me. There is water, right, to keep my vitality going, right? There is air that keeps me alive. Everything in nature works in a relationship of interdependency, codependency, and cohesion. They operate in oneness. If you apply that relationship to your relationship in the home, the family represents the first government. The family represents nature. It represents the codependency, the interdependency, the cohesion, the oneness. The relationship itself is love. Nature shows a relationship of love. What we feel from the relationship is an extension of the relationship. Once we have support systems in our family, once we have togetherness, oneness, that's what love is. We are in an expression of that relationship, that has been fragmented. So one of the greatest campaigns that's been ever ran in this country was by the De Beers family. The De Beers family took love and they associated it with the diamond. They actually took love outside of us and associated it with the diamond. Now, based on the size of the diamond determines how much you love a woman.
Yeah.
Based on the size of the diamond determines if a woman is even going to marry you. Based on the size of the diamond depends if you're even confident even in marrying this woman. So they shifted the reality of love and placed it outside of us.
Yeah.
The world does not have meaning. We have meaning. We are the ones that give the world meaning. But they have shifted the entire reality. And now everything that is supposed to be internal is actually external.
And it's a duplicate. It's
exactly.
not, it has flaws in it, and they can't duplicate. The one thing is that they can duplicate things in our brain, but they cannot duplicate the heart. They can never do that. They can duplicate all other things, all of this stuff that they're creating that looks smart, sounds smart, acts smart. But one thing they cannot duplicate is the heart.
If I may interject, if I just jump in and interject, you all have covered so many points, but let me share this. I had to get some significant help in my life when I had found myself in a very dark place. God sent me to some people that were so wise that had already journeyed down this dark path before me, and light was given to them. Love begins with knowing God. That's where love starts. And these people told me, they said that we are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. And that lines up with the word of God in Jeremiah 1:5, where it says, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, Lady Michelle, this is what you say all the time, I sanctified thee and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. Brother, my background is Christianity. I hear you saying certain terminology that kind of reminds me of metaphysical. So I'm just letting you know where my relationship comes in. I use holy scriptures. I use my experience in my relationship with God to understand what you're saying from your point of view and perspective, and I can respect that. But one thing that I really want to go back to is you said that all people that we meet are soulmates. I believe that some people may be soulmates, and I believe some people may be soul acquaintances, because they may just be there for a season for a particular purpose, but not necessarily for a long term on an intimate level of intimacy, which is what a soulmate is. It doesn't even have to be a romantic intimacy. It can be a bonding of a sister, brother, sister. It can be a family type bonding. So that's what I'm concerned about, our soul connections. I believe some people are just soul acquaintances and may not necessarily be a soulmate. I just wanted to
so we're both saying the same thing, actually. We're saying the same thing. We're saying the same thing.
I heard you say everyone is a soulmate. I don't distinguish that.
Yes, everyone.
I think, and let me just can I just come in because we're at 44 minutes past the hour. But the thing is that a soulmate is I'm here both of you. And I think I don't want us to get caught up in the term
In
soulmate,
terminology, yeah.
but the word soulmate is really I'm reminded of that quote, people come into your life a reason, a season, or a lifetime. When you connect with someone, you don't know how long you're going to interact with them. If they're going to be bringing benefit and value to your life, whether it's something from a karmic that you need to be you learn from or whatever, that was a soulmate. And I'm referencing a relationship that I had with my cousin. And I'm saying relationship, and you guys, viewers, please, relationship. We were soulmates from when we grew up together and everything, we were like this, right? And she and I we were buddies, friends throughout our lives. And we would separate and go off and live our lives and come back, but it would be as if we never, left. We would call each other, years go by, we'd call each other, connect back and everything. And here's what happened, okay? When it came time for me to come up higher spiritually, that relationship ended. And I couldn't understand why, but Spirit helped me to understand that when something has fulfilled its purpose in your life, it must end. So I'm not saying that I don't talk to her and say I haven't talked to her, but she's still my cousin. You know what I mean? But the thing as far as interacting and communicating, no. Why? Because I'm operating at a different space. I've moved on. The relationship that we had at that level served its purpose. And during that time, I considered her my soulmate.
Can we get a definition of what a soulmate is? And maybe
well,
if we get a definition.
The terminology, because people attach themselves to words, and words can really,
and their spells. Their spells.
Yes, whole great. But we just say soul interactions. So we are truly souls. We are truly souls. The soul is a part of us. Everybody we meet in our life is there. We'll just make it clear. Everybody in our life that we meet is coming to imprint a lesson. They're coming to imprint a lesson. They're imprinting their energy on you. And you are either gaining an you are gaining whether it be love or it be pain, but it is all part of your journey. It is all a lesson for you to reflect on, either building self-love, or they're inspiring you to accelerate and continue to be who you are and where you are in this particular time and space.
And I'm going to reference back to Jeremiah 29:11, which said, I knew you. See, that word knew means to consummate, means to, and my interpretation of that is God had a conversation with me. Before the foundation of the world, my creator had a conversation with me and wrote out and mapped out and planned my life and included characters, bad guys, villains, superheroes, all these interactive characters in my life for my betterment because of the contract that I made with him during that conversation. Now that's my imagination, what works for me and gives me peace, because it helps me to understand that I do have a part to play in this, that I do have a responsibility in operating in godlike form and imitating and swimming in Christ consciousness. I have that responsibility, and that gives me peace. Because listen to this, you can go through life and you're wondering, well, why is that person in my life, and why did that have to happen to me? That's a part of your story. And if Romans 8:28, all things work together for the good. If that tragic thing happened to you, you have to learn to look at it as if it's working out for your betterment. How can it work out for your betterment? By your perception of it, by your understanding of why it had to happen. If it was something tragic and morose and something where, you dare not talk about, but it brought in you compassion and helped you to help someone else down the road, to give them encouragement and enlightenment and support, it served its purpose.
I think the things that I've like hit into that I call painful, because a while ago I asked God, it's been a while.
3 minutes,
God,
got 3 minutes, guys, and then we're going to go into the other question because
I said, God, why do I have to struggle? And he said, it's not struggle, it's preparation. So it helped me to handle things that I feel were bad, or I labeled them as bad or painful. But he said it's preparation. So everything that's hard that's happened to me has been my strength. And so that for me helped me to get through life through the bad times, or when we're talking about soulmates, people we married or people we've dated. When we talk about words, I have to dig deeper than the surface words, because there's always something deeper than what we've derived as saying. And so you have to go back to the original language, like devil means mental disorder. So you got, it spells, they teach us first how to spell. That's one of the first things they teach you. So I get what you're saying. So we have
so much to cover. And when I met with Calvin, I think it was last week or whatever, our intro, the pre-run, I asked him if he would, come back and share with us, because you touched on a lot tonight, sir. You touched on karma, you touched on love. So there's so much that I really feel in my heart that you can impart to others to really just enlighten people, right? And for the viewers to really not get so caught up in the word, but to really,
we can.
But
really
can I say this? It's not a debate, because see, I'm a word person, and we get to the truth by properly defining or properly mutually understanding the words that are being used. I honestly believe that the key to communication is language. So what one person may believe is meaning for one word may not be clearly defined in the mind of the other. So I would just suggest that it's okay to present what I feel is my understanding in relationship to somebody else's, and then we can meet with understandings along the way. That's all I'm saying. It's good. It's okay. It's okay. It's not an argument.
Speaking.
No, it's a discussion. It's a discussion on understanding. So sometimes we just may have to refine what we're speaking so that we can get a clear understanding. That's all. That's all I'm looking for, and I believe good brothers looking for the same.
Okay, we're just trying to have this is a spiritual rap session, in my opinion, because the whole objective is whoever is listening, it's going to relate to someone, and because we're operating from that space and that intention of enlightening people, because it's high time for us, for people to be continued to be in bondage and to be entrapped by something that's been conditioned for 400 years. Because of what we've been fed with, by what we've been watching and what's been passed down. It's time for us to
and what we feed ourselves.
There we go. On my back. Okay, good. And it's time for us to break free. And that's the whole purpose of this show, so that we can deliver what has worked for us.
Amen.
That's all.
Absolutely.
Because we all have a different blueprint, but we're pressing toward this. We're all energy. So energy, like he said, doesn't end or begin. It's not good or bad. It's energy. It's the degree that you operate in and the consciousness you operate in. So we've been conditioned to all of these words. And I'm not talking about the word. I'm talking about all of these words. And people have given the definition as to their purpose, personal consciousness. And so when we all come together with all of this, we give a piece of the puzzle. I think all of us are a piece of the puzzle from where we've been and where we're going and how we're getting there. And so I appreciate all of you for what you offer to my life as pieces so that I can see a clearer view of what my destination is. So I'm excited about everything that everybody has given tonight, because it has blessed me to get a revelation on something in my life.
Yes, absolutely.
I wanted to leave space and time for some of his great quotes. Now, guys, his Instagram Black underscore BLAK underscore abyss ABYSS Instagram. He has some of this great artwork, and I just wanted to, what did I do with it? Oh yeah, here it is. To just share one of your quotes, Calvin, that you can just, and I wanted to ask you, because let's talk about the seeds of salvation. This quote: "We know the answers to our quest. We know what we want. The infinite mind wants us to get out the way so it can properly prosper. Gratitude, forgiveness, oneness among many are present in the heart. So much resistance from your flawed human identity. When you let go, the heart will glow like a beacon to lead the way." We can't share the art. I want you guys to go out to his Instagram and just scroll through his feed, and you will stumble over Seeds of Salvation and the artwork that's there. But when you saw that artwork, I mean, where do these words come from? I mean, how do you share with us?
Yeah, when I look at the pictures, like I'm always writing in my mind. It's I can come across a picture or a painting and I'm already writing the book in my mind, like the words are going across my mind. And that's how it normally happens. It's like a inspiring moment that just happens, and the artwork, I don't know what the artist was trying to do with the artwork or trying to interpret the artwork as, but I added my own caption to it. So I had my own perception on other people's artwork. So I actually write my own, monologue or my own book in my mind to it. So it happens. It's inspiring. It's inspiring. It speaks something. Seeds of consciousness is what we're experiencing, that to collect those. So see, in the state of pure perfection, you don't get to understand the other side of your light, right? So what you're experiencing now is the other side of your light. So what are you learning? You are learning how evil you can be, that you have the capability of being evil, that you have the capability of being selfish, right? You have the capability of being destructive. This is what you're learning. You're learning that you can move to the other side of the polarity, that you just don't have the capability of being this all perfect loving being, but at any moment you can experience the other side of the polarity. So you experience these seeds of consciousness, right? Humility is one of those things that gets us to see the world, right, from a greater perspective. So that means that at any time I can hit rock bottom and lose everything. I can be that homeless man on the street, right? At any time, I can get my heart broken, right? Like that woman across the street. So it allows us to see the divinity in everything and everyone, right? So we experience this. We experience, what oneness can do for us. We experience what non-judgment can do. Why? Because we've been there. We've been in a place where people judged us. So see, it's important to experience the other side of love. Love and hate is the same vibration, just a different degree. It is the light being inverted. It is the light flowing the other way, the other opposite way. And now you're experiencing it, and then you learn how to be the neutrality of it all. Because you can love somebody to the point where you become codependent. You become dependent on somebody's love, and you sacrifice yourself. You can hate somebody to the point where they try to kill you. So you can become both polarities, and both polarities represent fear. Right. If you depend on somebody's love, that's fear.
Right.
Right?
Right.
If you want people to fear you, that's fear. If you want control in a relationship, that's fear. If you want to dominate everything, it's fear, right? So you're experiencing the ever-flowing energy. you're experiencing both sides of it. So you can learn about yourself and create a better thought process so you can have a better experience here.
Right.
Because your
Sir,
thought, you are experiencing your entire thought. Go ahead.
you, oh my God, we could sit here all night and listen to what you're imparting. And
Right.
we're at the 1 hour mark. I would love to have you on again. I'm already getting some ideas to have you on during Valentine's time to, so that we can really dive deep into love and what that looks like, and everything. So please look out for my my DMs on your Instagram.
Yes,
Ladies and
absolutely.
gentlemen.
Thank you.
Calvin Streete, aka Black Abyss.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you guys. I honor you. Thank you for having me. Great
Ron, before you got here, I told everybody, I said, look, when Michelle comes, you got to put on your scuba gear. When I'm gonna call you Black. When Black comes, you're gonna have to put on your astronaut uniform. You got to put on that helmet, because you're getting ready to go up into outer space and really go into higher dimensions.
Right.
I mean, wow. You are such a gift for this generation, sir. Such a gift.
Thank you.
For such a time as this. For such a time as this.
Thank you.
For such a time as this.
It's actually, it's a great time. Great time.
Yep.
I appreciate you, Michelle. Appreciate you, Ron. And definitely Vanessa. Thank you for seeking me out and the opportunity to come on. I hope to be back again so we can build some more.
Chop it up.
I really appreciate it. Indeed.
Thank you guys so much.
Absolutely.
All right, guys.
Thank you, sir.
I'm 2 minutes late. I got an important date. So
happy birthday.
Oh yeah, happy birthday.
Happy
birthday. Absolutely. Happy birthday.
We're gonna walk on the beach, and I'm just gonna take all this in and share what you've shared tonight, sir. It's just been what a gift. What a gift. I didn't wake up to winning the lottery, but I have won the spiritual lottery by sitting here listening to Calvin S, aka Black Abyss tonight. What a gift. Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you.
From my heart.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Gratitude.
Thank you, guys. And until next week, guys, on Spiritually Speaking, join us 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here via the KP Media TV Network.
Good night.
Blessings. Good night.
Gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you for enjoying the show. If you have an awesome product or service that you would like Vanessa to promote, go to www.vanessaklinger.com/show sponsor, and we'll get back to you. We have monthly sponsorship programs, ad slots, all kinds of wonderful, great things to promote your product or service. Contact Vanessa today.